At the district, we're tasked with conserving the groundwater within the Edwards and the Trinity aquifers.
Groundwater plays an important role in our everyday lives and communities. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, in the United States, 82 billion gallons of fresh groundwater is used for public supply, private supply, irrigation, livestock, and other services. That is where groundwater modeling comes into play. Staff hydrogeologist Jeff Watson is part of the district's aquifer science team.
Groundwater models help us better understand how different management or policy decisions might impact the groundwater system. So in the case of Barton Springs, we built a groundwater model back in the early 2000s which simulated spring flow at Barton Springs and how it would be impacted by pumping within the Barton Springs segment of the aquifer.
The aquifer science team is currently working on the Trinity Aquifer in-house groundwater model. The district is also playing a role in helping to guide model construction for Southwest Research Institute's Blanco River Basin numerical groundwater model, also known as Bratwurst.
The aquifer science team has been building in-house a model for the Trinity Aquifer that extends from sort of the eastern side of the district boundaries all the way into western Hays County and then north up to the Colorado River, with the intention of better understanding how the aquifer could respond to different, it could be pumping scenarios, it could be drought scenarios. You could plug in like a drought of record and ask, what happens if recharge gets reduced by this enormous amount over a few years? What kind of impact is that going to have to the aquifer? We're also looking at springs. You have Jacob's Well Spring, which is up gradient of the district, and also Pleasant Valley Spring, which is essentially the headwaters of the Blanco River in times of drought. And in the aquifer science team, we're trying to better understand how pumping within our segment of the Trinity could impact both regional drawdown and those upgradient springs. And then the Bratwurst model is a much more complicated and robust model that's being put together by a collaborative effort led by the Meadows Center. Bratwurst actually has a very similar model domain or model area to our Trinity in-house model, so it's focused mainly within the Blanco River catchment. And it also it provides a lot of complexity around the areas of like Jacob's Well Spring and Pleasant Valley Spring within the Blanco River.
To create a groundwater model, the district relies on existing data.
The aquifer science team at the district, in collaboration with many other agencies like the City of Austin, the USGS, and other groundwater conservation districts, have really put together a really robust data set over the last few decades. So we have really comprehensive data on things like spring flow, groundwater levels, structure data, the different layers of the aquifer and where they lie spatially. So given that really big data set that's available, we can use all of that data to construct the numerical model.
The end goal is to conserve and protect our groundwater supply for generations to come.
Numerical groundwater models are really useful as high-level policy-making guidance tools. So if the board wanted to know, how much water could they permit within a given area or region while minimizing impacts to spring flow or drawdown, numerical models can shed important light on those questions.